Hi there. I'm not exactly sure if I should be making this video, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm making this video to explain some of the changes I recently made to my YouTube channel. Also, um, basically, I recently fell really hard for a woman, and it was a major infatuation, and that influenced what I was doing with my YouTube channel. And I'm trying to find some sort of resolve in this. Recently, I'm not going to mention the woman's name, and I would like to say I'd like to use the word love as in the title of the video, but love is kind of a strong word. I'd say I had a major infatuation with her, a pretty strong one to the point where I was thinking about her all the time, and I allowed it to influence how I was letting my channel be produced. I'm not going to mention her name, but her name is plastered all over my homepage on my YouTube channel. If you go to the main page, you go to the home tab, you'll see her name listed at the main video, the trailer video. Just below it, you'll see a whole bunch of videos of her, and below that, you'll see both of her YouTube channels. If anybody would like to talk maybe about situations involving, people that they've been in love with or anything like that, I'd be more than willing to engage in conversation this evening. I'd take you on live if you'd like. Go ahead and there's an email link in the description. It's zmoonchild online@youtubemail.net. Send me an email and I'll respond and I'll go ahead and bring you on live. We can have a discussion. Basically, like I said, I'm not going to mention her name, but you can find it on my YouTube channel. I originally brought her on a couple months, I don't know, it was a little more than a month ago, maybe a month and a half. I don't remember exactly when. And we're doing a regular Monday evening show, Monday evening East Coast time. That would be Eastern Standard Time. And eventually, through the course of our little Monday show, that's when I began to develop feelings for her. Funny part is, she doesn't know that I have these feelings for her. Though I will say a couple of the people that were watching the videos picked up on it, and at least one or two comments where people said when she said how much I must really like her. Um, she didn't catch on to that at all. So I guess I don't know. Maybe I need to make my feelings known enough. Um, as the course went on, I wanted to help her more, and I started to care for her a lot more. And I'm not worried about even though she doesn't know. I know she won't watch this video. She doesn't watch any of the videos on my channel, but so I know she won't find out about this. Ironically, even though she has a show on my channel right now. Um, During the course of the shows, I started to transform my channel into something to help her. So, like I said, if you go to my homepage, you'll see I have basically a whole bunch of videos for her listed there, and both of her YouTube channels. I was trying to help her out, promote her things, what she was doing, and everything. Um, Believe it or not, I was going to transfer the channel even further, but I'm hesitant to do that at this point. We were supposed to do a show last night, and that kind of fell off. Well, it didn't happen, I should say. Um, I'm going to provide a link in the chat section um, to show you how far I was willing to actually transform my channel. The link that I just posted in the chat is a link to a test channel that I've had for several years. It doesn't have anything on there that's relevant. I just use it for testing purposes, and I was using it to test a new banner that I created for her. And if you look at the link that's provided there, you'll see that it has her name on it. It lists a whole bunch of links for her. Um, and believe it or not, I was willing to post that on my YouTube channel just to help promote her. That's how much I really cared about her. And I still care about her. The thing is, I'm trying to find like I said, trying to find some sort of closure in this, see where things go, and wrap everything up. The changes to my channel were, uh, I would say, not too drastic, but beginning to realize, we had a conversation recently and beginning to realize that she definitely does not feel the same way for me that I feel for her. So I think it's time for me to try to close everything out on this. And what I'm trying to do is trying to find a way to let her know that I need to stop doing the shows with her and remove her from my YouTube channel. Um, the changes, I got a question from Artie Knight. The changes, look on the front on my YouTube channel. They're not very much. Look at on my homepage, and you'll see I have a whole bunch of videos of the woman I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention her name here. I've said that before, but I was trying to help promote her. She's a very talented dancer, and I let my heart take over rather than my head. Originally, I just wanted to help her out, but I let the feelings I have for her start to escalate, and that wasn't a good thing. So the changes on there right now, if you look, you'll see my homepage is basically the whole top 3 rows are devoted to her, and um, it's I don't like. I'm not saying I don't regret having these emotions or feelings for her, but it's just kind of hard to have this and have someone not return them and have them in return. Um, Greetings from Colombia. Thank you. Wild Shadow. Thank you. If you look in the chat, you'll see the link to for those who may have just come on, you'll see there's a link to a test channel that I created where I actually made a banner that has her on it. And I was going to post that to my YouTube channel just to help her out. Um, I was going to partially transform my channel as an effort to try to help promote her. And at this point, I'm not sure where I don't think we're going to go that way. Um, the shows that we did were fun, and I really enjoyed talking to her when we did those. But I really got to think with my head rather than my heart on this. She is, I still think she's a very beautiful person, both inside and out. And she is very talented. And I really hope that she goes somewhere. And I, I really don't know um, how else to, try to say anything positive without getting too emotional. It just kind of hurts that I allowed myself to to think with my heart rather than my head in this situation. The I also promoted her on my other 3 of my other popular YouTube channels. If you go to them, you'll see essentially the same thing. You'll see the top video on those channels is actually a video for that channel, but then the 2 rows below that are her videos and then her YouTube channels, links to her YouTube channels. So the if also if anyone's logging on right now, if you'd like to, I'd be willing to talk to anybody um, who would like to go live. I wouldn't mind. There's a link. There's an email in the link description below. Just send me an email link, and I bring you on. It'll be what's the word I'm looking for? Unscreened, so there would be no censoring or anything. I wouldn't know who you are initially when you come on, so it'd be kind of a blind run right there. You don't have to, it's just something to if someone wants to talk about their experiences or anything. Um, in my experience, or I should say, I um I'm just composing my thoughts here. I've had 2 women before this I allowed this to happen to, and it is kind of hard. I just wish I hadn't thought with my heart instead of my head on this one. I let it go a little too far. Um, I really hope that everything goes well with her. We had a conversation recently. I'm not going to disclose any of the anything that we said, but basically I gathered from it that she was not really happy with what I was doing with the show and what I was doing to try to help her out. Um, I was going to try to promote her in different ways on the channel, and I just she just didn't like the way the things were going. Um, the oops, the the link again, if you want to see the link of the channel, the test channel I had, if you look at it, ignore the channel name. That's just a joke that I had an online argument with someone 10 years ago, and I created the channel name Crystalline Entity to troll somebody on the internet. So ignore the channel name if you go to that link I provided. It means absolutely nothing nowadays. But back then I was trolling someone and we were having a minor feud back and forth. So I created this channel just to feud with him. Um, anyway, I did enjoy the time I had with her. Um, the first thing that I should have realized when the first time I had her on my channel, she emphasized multiple times that she had a boyfriend. And of course, I should have stopped right there, but I didn't let that stop me, which is silly of me. And I said, "Why don't you come on again?" And she came on again. And I said, "Why don't you come on again?" And she came on again. So we were going to I was going to try to create like a blog type situation for her on my channel where she was going to promote more activities, and I was going to actually try to help her get the equipment needed to create more things, and even try to help her maybe get her some sponsorships. I've tried to get sponsorships on this channel, but no one wants to go with me directly, primarily because I don't talk on most of my videos. I think that's the main reason. Um, but I was trying. We're working towards that, and it just didn't seem to. It didn't seem like it was going to go anywhere. At least that's the way she perceived it. So, um, I I know I feel kind of silly coming on here and talking like this right now. I just needed a place to vent, I guess, to get my feelings out. The like I said, I know she's not going to be. The funny part is, I know she won't ever see this because she doesn't watch any of the videos that are on my channel, not even her own, the ones that we have listed there. In case you're wondering, if you go to my homepage, the videos that are listed there are actually links to mostly her channels, except for like it says her name experience. And if you look at the links to those, the first four videos are actually from my channel. Most of the other ones are from her channel. But there are links to at least one other person listed there. Um, uh, this is, this is, I just feel kind of silly for like I said, I'm probably going to repeat myself a couple of times, but, I feel kind of silly for letting my emotion lead my decision making on this. Uh, I was willing to basically let her control a large portion of the channel just because I wanted her to succeed in what she's going through. I still think she's very talented, and as she's a very talented individual. I'm not getting into details of what she's talented in, but she is very talented. And I was hoping that maybe by doing this, maybe it would help get her more attention. Her YouTube channels are virtually dead. I told her that going to Social Blade and everything else I did, like analyzations and then things like that. And yeah, her channels are essentially just dead channels. Nobody really knows them except for her, maybe a loyal fan base of her own. Um, I mean, the fact that I linked them on my channel all of a sudden made her start to get subscribers, which is kind of funny because I mean, up until then she wasn't getting any. She had flattened out. She wasn't getting anything. So all of a sudden she started to get slightly more popular. Um, I guess this is like a lesson learned, so to speak. Um, the other thing I'm kind of concerned with is I'd still like to have other people on the channel just to interview them for fun. The I had another woman on. Her name was Ashley Burton, and she was pretty fun. I'd like to have her on again, but This has nothing to do with her. I just want to make sure that there's a distinction as to who I'm referring to. Um, the I if any the situations I've had before, I guess I never learned back. I worked at a radio station. It was way back in, well, it was a long time ago, and I allowed my infatuation to get the better hand, better judgment, in a similar vein I did with this. But the difference was the woman who I asked her out, and we went out. We asked her out for a second time, and she said, "Yeah." Then she backed off, but I allowed my emotions to keep on going, and eventually it got to the point where I just kind of like now, I just couldn't stop thinking about her, and eventually I had to quit that job. It was kind of ironic. The one good thing about that fact that I quit that job was it was only a part-time job, so it wasn't like full-time. And ironically, I don't know if it's ironic, but weirdly, 2 months later, after I quit that job, they changed the format on the radio station. They ended up firing almost everyone anyway, so I would've lost my job anyway. So even though I quit my job, I felt stupid for doing that. It didn't really matter because I would've lost it 2 months anyway, 2 months later anyway. Um, the difference was that her name was, well, her name was Linda, and Linda was a she knew how much I loved her, or how much I cared for. I know love is a strong word, but how much I cared about her, and she toyed with that love, and that made it even worse. Um, there's nothing like that in this situation at all. This is just me just letting my emotions go, and I regret doing that. Not regret the emotions, but regret letting my emotions guide what I was trying to do, because that never works out good. And this is the case. This is what ends up with that. Um, anyway, that whole situation was ended up, and I don't wish anything bad on Linda, but I never want to see her ever again. The situation I have right now is I'm still trying to work out how to try to bring some closure to this. There is still the possibility that she may make an appearance on my channel again, because I'm trying to find a way to maybe tell her nicely that maybe it's a good idea that we just part ways. Only because, not because I want to. No, I still want to help her out, but I don't think with the amount of emotion I have for her, I don't think it's a good idea for her and I to continue doing anything together. Um, the but the other thing is, I probably will let her have, if she wants them. Probably let her have the videos that we her and I produce, so she can put them on her channel if she'd like. But at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and probably delete the videos off my channel eventually. So what you're seeing right now, if you want to watch them, if you like them, if not, that's fine. Eventually, I'm probably going to pull them all down. Um, like I said, if you look in the video description, I have an email address that's listed for this video in this video description. If you would like to come online and talk to me right now, share your stories or anything, that'd be cool. Just click on that link. I'll send you an invite, and you'll be able to come on. You can use a camera or not. I don't really care. I don't use a camera. I don't want to scare the world with how I look. So, um, the um, as we did the shows together, I just started to realize how much I had become infatuated with her, and the whole thing culminated on up till sometime last week when we had a conversation, and that's I could tell she was actually not really interested for whatever reason. And I just realized I need to, at this point, find some sort of closure. Like I said, she doesn't know how I actually feel, and I didn't want to tell her, primarily because she emphasized several times that she had a boyfriend, and I don't want there to be any problems there. So, this is more or less just me trying to find a way to get this out of my head, try to find some closure for out of myself. The and also I feel kind of silly doing this. So I'm sure a lot of people are, if you're, whatever, if you think this is silly, I get you. That's cool. Um, the what I want to do is obviously keep on doing the videos I've been doing, and try to, focus on those. Um, I hope that everybody likes the videos that I'm doing right now. I right now I'm uploading 7 videos a day, 35 videos total a week, and that's across 4 of my channels. So, and I try to space them out. So there's like 4 in the morning and a couple in the midday, and then one in the evening. So, um, I was thinking, getting slightly off topic, I was thinking about possibly starting Grand Theft Auto 3 as a new video since I've almost run out of Vice City videos to make. I completed all the story missions and all the side quests. Everything's done on Vice City. So right now I've been making like videos on how to find special unique vehicles, and that's kind of running out. That's I'm running out of ideas for that one. So I was thinking about doing Grand Theft Auto 3. The thing is though, I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 3 in probably 14 years. So I don't really know how to play Grand Theft Auto 3 except from what I remember from 14 years ago. I did play it all the way through from beginning to end. So, um, whoops, hold on a second. I accidentally hit something here. Okay. Um, if anyone has any ideas, I wouldn't even know how to be honest, I wouldn't even know how to do a like a what I call a starter save on those videos. Um, the movie, the video is the videos would it'd be kind of like almost like me playing for the first time. So, uh, oh, is it O'Clucker? A Clucker? Sorry, my eyes are a little fuzzy. I think it's O'Clucker. Thanks. I appreciate the comments there. The um, the videos. I'm going to continue doing. I know I don't think too many people care for the Red Dead Redemption videos. I'm trying to complete it slowly but surely to 100%. So we'll see where that goes. And anyway, the other channels are basically kind of like just me playing around with channels. I don't really make too much effort to make much of a distinction. So the 3 other channels are kind of like merged. I just random videos that I constantly make over and over again. So, um, the uh, as far as this person who I'm talking to goes, like I say, I really, I'm not right now. I don't think things are doing too good as far as we had, like I said, we had a conversation recently, and it just didn't seem like she was really interested in even continuing this anymore. But I could be wrong on that. It was just maybe she was just, maybe in a bad spot or something, and maybe I misinterpreted what she was saying. So I have a feeling that she wants to stop doing this soon as well. The and the I mean, if like I said, the funny part is like a couple of at least 1 or 2 people on my videos even caught on to the fact that I really liked her in the comics in the comment sections, and I was like, she didn't. I guess she does. I don't think she read the comment sections very much. Um, but the funny part is that's people who are watching the videos caught on to it, but she herself didn't catch on to it. So I guess I wasn't making myself really known there. Um, the anyway, I mean, if there's anybody else that has any questions about what I'm doing with the channel or anything. Eventually I'll probably start to slowly revert it back the main channel. But the only changes I really made were to the homepage. So if you go to the other pages, everything else is still the same. I haven't changed anything else. I was going to change the about section, but I didn't change that. I did add her channels to the channels page, but um, but that's a minor thing. Um, oops. Uh, and I'm kind of stumbling over what to say on this. The all the other changes that I probably won't do them. I don't think I'm going to do them now. I say I think so. That I just don't know. Uh, like I said, if you look in the comment, I'll post it again in the chat section here. Here's the here's a link. Hopefully, it went through again. Um, it's a link to a banner that I made for her. And believe it or not, I was actually going to post it on my channel to try to help promote her. but I wasn't going to change the channel name. I was just going to help promote her. Um, and it wasn't actually that hard to create. There's actually programs out there that help you do it. So, um, but I thought it looked pretty decent. The funny part is I think it looks better than the ones I have sometimes. So, the ones I made were I used Microsoft Paint several years ago, and I just took a cheap screenshot of my desktop with the desk icons, enlarged it, and then took some text I found on the internet and put it over top with the Subaru symbol on the far right. For those who don't know what the Subaru symbol is, the Subaru is the Australian Falcon symbol for I think it's the XW and XY Falcons from the 1960s, the Ford Falcons. Uh, I don't own one of those Falcons. I actually own two XB Falcons that I imported from Australia back in 2003. So, but I still like the Subaru symbol. That's a little kangaroo with the wheels on it. That's actually technically, I believe, a trademark's image that Ford owns, but I don't think they're worried about enforcing it because they haven't used it in probably like 40 years, 50 years now. So it's at least 50 years since the late 60s. So I'm not too worried about them coming after it. In case when everyone's ever wondering what that little symbol is on my channel, that's the Subaru. Superroo. Instead of kangaroo, it's Subaru. So anyway, the as far as other videos, if anyone has any suggestions, I'm always open to trying something new. I was thinking about trying driver parallel lines on my uh, doing driver parallel lines, but I'm having problems getting it to install or actually start up properly on Windows 10. So I'm not sure if I can do that yet. I don't want to use I have an old Windows 7 computer that I'm still using for the Grand Theft Auto stuff, like Vice City and San Andreas, because it seems to work a little better on those than it does in the Windows 10. Um, yeah, Old Clucker is asking about doing a video on my cars. I can show you a picture if they're still there. Give me a second here. There's a website called xbgt.info. I'm not sure if it's still active. I haven't been there for a while. Let me bring it up here. Looks like it's gone. Yeah. Oh well. The website used to be called xb.gt.info. It looks like someone else bought it and changed. Oh, that's interesting. No, it's not coming up. No, it's not there anymore. Oh well. Actually, it might be under the old. Like if I go to the oh wait, I can't forget what that thing is called. If the archive might still have the picture of it. There's pictures of them on there of both of my cars. One's a red pepper with on black, so it's red on black. The other is black on silver, which is according to the people I bought it from and the people who helped me get it. There were only 33 ever produced in black, and this one's the original color, though it has been repainted. It was repaired, restored, I should say, not repaired, but restored several years ago. So it's kind of rare. The other one was only 78 or so, I don't know, 75 or so of the red pepper ones made. For those who don't know, the XB-GT Falcon is the car that was used in 3 of the Mad Max movies, including the new one. The Black Falcon he drives, they call it the Interceptor. The black Interceptor that he drives in the first 2 movies was a 1973 XB GT Coupe that was modified severely. So severely is kind of a harsh word. Was modified extensively, I should say. So it doesn't really look like mine because of the extensive modifications that were made. Mine has the round headlights, the original round headlights. That one has like an aerodynamic Monza front end put on the front, and it had a fake blower put in the front. I don't have that. But anyway, when I drive them, people usually, I haven't driven them for a while, but when I do drive them, I do get and I always get people looking at it, people taking pictures of them because I'm driving. It's a right-hand drive car, so I'm driving in the United States with a car that has a steering wheel on the right side. Still trying to see if I can find some pictures of them on the internet. Give me 1 second here while I do that. Oops. I guess talking about this is helping me not think about what I'm going through right now. Let's see. I'm trying to bring up the archive website. What is that called? Say Internet Archive. Just do a search real quick. Is that it? Nope, that's not the one I'm looking for. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see if I can bring it up here. The website was called xbgt.info, and it was a really well-designed website. I guess they didn't want to maintain it anymore. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Give me a second. Okay, it looks like their pictures are there. Darn it, the pictures are there. No, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Try this. Coming up, coming up, coming up. Okay, Coop. It looks like the pictures aren't there. It's showing the basic website, unfortunately. It's not showing. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Okay, here we go. I think I found it. Yep, here we go. Okay, I'm going to bring this up just so you can see what it looks like. Screen share. Give me a second here. And there we go. Right there. Okay. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. There we go. That's a picture of my red falcon right there. The license plate says Dinky Die. So if anyone's wondering, it's basically an Australian slang. Anyone from Australia will know what that means. It's also the name of the dog food that was used in the second Mad Max movie. It was called Mad Max 2, or in the United States it was referred to as the Road Warrior. So anyway, that's my red one. That's the red pepper one. It's got in case you're wondering, it's got a 351 Cleveland 4-speed transmission, and the 351 Cleveland is all stock. It's a mostly stock. I think there was some slight modifications made to it, but as far as the majority of it is still stock. They all came with the GTs all came with 351 Clevelands. So in case you're wondering what the black Interceptor looked like before they modified it, this is essentially what it looked like right here. Let me see if I can bring up 1 second. Okay, here's my black one right here. I changed the wheels on it. This is my black one. It's onyx black. So in the picture, it almost looks like it has kind of a purplish hue to it, but it's actually black. It's like a soft black, a really soft black on silver. The wheels on there, I don't have those wheels. The wheels were taken off by the person that I bought it from. They put it on something else. So I have a different set of, I have wheels that look more original. Yeah, Oak Clucker is asking, were these only sold in Australia? They were sold, they were manufactured, they were designed in the United States. I'll give you a little brief history. They were designed in the United States. The basic design is like a Torino in the back and a Mustang in the front. And the it's like a early 70s Torino and like a 1970 71 Mustang in the front, kind of. And they were designed in the United States, but the designs were taken back to Australia. They were manufactured, completely assembled in Australia. Some of the engines were actually shipped over from the United States. Some of the engines were actually built in Australia, but they all had 351 Clevelands. They were sold in at least 3 different countries that I know of. Anyone who knows more about this, correct me on this, of course. They were sold in Australia, obviously, New Zealand, and they were also limited. They were limited numbers sold in the United Kingdom. From what I understand, Ford would only ship them to countries where the country had right-hand drive. So you can't find them. They wouldn't ship them to the United States, obviously. I'm not sure if they ship them to South Africa. And the reason I say that is because I know a lot of the earlier Falcons from the 60s, like I think the XW and the XY Falcons were actually shipped to Australia. And instead of having a Subaru symbol on them, they had they had a rhino symbol. It's really it's really funny. Of course they don't have kangaroos in South Africa. Well, they don't think they do. I don't think they have kangaroos in South Africa. So they put a rhino symbol on it instead. It was pretty funny. But yeah, you won't. There's a group of us in the United States that ship these over. I don't know how many there are right now in the United States. Out of this particular body style, there were apparently 949 produced total between 1973 and 1976. And in Australia, they don't have year models; they have letter models. So they don't like in the United States. I don't know if they still do this in Australia, but back then anyway, the production model would last for however longer they wanted it to. It wasn't like the United States where every year is a new production model. In Australia, they would produce it and then they would stop producing it a few years later or maybe a year later. So the XB model, which is what this is, was produced from, like I said, 72 to 76. Um, and out of that, 949 of these were made. Out of the general body style, you could actually find maybe, I think there were like close to 30,000, but out of those were not GT. Those were like mainly just like sedans that weren't like GTs. So mine's an actual GT. So like they also had the GS mod. Is it the GS? I can't remember. And there was it was like a sportier model, but not quite as not supposedly not as powerful as the GT version. And then they had just the regular sedan versions of the car didn't have any special um, qualities to them. Let's see. We'll go back to the red one again. Where is that? Oops. Oh, right here. Like this website is now defunct. I didn't know that until recently. Yeah, here's my red one. The red one has a spoiler on the back. If you look at the taillights match the Mad Max car. You can see that it's spot on with like the Mad Max car. You can see how they modified the front, put like what they call the Monza front end on it. The four headlights were standard on the car. It's two regular headlights with a set of driving lights. So they're not really high beams per se. They're more like driving performance lights. And technically, the headlights are illegal in this country, but I never changed them over. The headlights point. In Australia, you drive on the left side of the road, so the headlights point down and to the left, whereas in the United States they point down and to the right. So when I'm driving down the road, my headlights were pointing in the wrong direction, pointing toward traffic. So, if you look in the backgrounds, you can see it's kind of hard. You can see to the right, there's an old '67 Mustang that's kind of beat up. That's one of my cars, and in the back of this middle picture, there's a white '67 fastback that I haven't really restored. I need to restore those two. They're not in great shape, but they're still drivable, but they're not in great shape. Not like the Falcons. So, I have a collection of cars I keep parked in my yard and a couple of them parked in a garage. So, anyway, if you go to the archive site, you can see it lists all the different ones that are on here. I'm glad that at least the archive still has this. I used to tell people to go here all the time, but I guess, like I said, the website is now defunct for whatever reason. But just go to the archive site and you'll still be able to see these. The xbgt.info was the actual website. Let me see. Let me check my email for a second. See if anyone's commenting. Nope. All right. Anyway, I appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to my ramblings. My crying if I started to tear up a little bit. I don't know. I really did allow myself to think the wrong way with this whole situation. If you're wondering why I was doing a show every week with this woman, and you're like, well, who is this? And it's like, and a lot of people say they had no idea who she was, and that's not to be insulting to her. She does have a loyal fan base of people that know who she is. I'm not trying to say it. It's just that a lot of people on my channel just were obviously just not in tune, just didn't know who she was. She was in an indie movie that came out almost 10 years ago. And that's how, just to give you an idea how I originally found out about her. I was doing a search on the internet back during the summertime, this past summer. And I typed in there something to the effect, I typed in girl and day and the name of her movie popped up. I don't remember exactly what search was, but I wasn't looking for her video, and it came up as one of the search results. I was like, "What is this?" And I looked at it, and I was like, at first, I didn't know what I was watching, and it's a basically it's an independent movie. Um, I'm gonna go ahead. I don't want to I don't want to mention any names or anything, but I will provide the link for anyone who wants to see this. Give me a second here. It's a movie that doesn't have any dialogue. If you can call it, it's more like a film, but you can call it a movie. All right, bring it up here. Give me a second. Oh, it's not there. Give me a second. Oh, I misspelled it. Here we go. Okay, so those who want to watch the film, I'm placing a link right now into the chat, and you can see what she was in. Like I said, she's an immensely talented person. I was originally I wasn't, and it's not to be insulting to her. I wasn't attracted to her when I saw her. I just was impressed by her amazing dancing, and I saw her name in the credits, and I did a search on the internet, and it turned out she had a website that she created, and I went to her website, and she had an email. So I said, "Hey, I really liked your video. I liked your movie. It was really good. Um, I just to let you know, I was really moved by your dancing. I thought you were really good." And she is the main character of the film. She doesn't have any dialogue at all. She doesn't speak at all in the entire thing. There's like three characters in the whole piece, and they convey a kind of a narrative through dance and music. And the music is interesting. At first, I didn't really like the music at first because it took a lot of older songs that I liked and kind of mixed them with newer lyrics. But after watching it a few times, I got hooked on it, and I started watching the movie over and over, more like a not like sitting there with my eyes focused on it, but like in the background if I'm working, I would have it turned on because I have like 9 computer monitors where I work for the business I run. So I was able to keep it on one of the monitors with the music turned on while I was working and watch it and in the background. And I just watched it over and over and over and got hooked on it. And so I sent her an email. And I didn't hear back from her. I was like, "That's cool." You know, she probably was busy and everything. And then like a month and a half later, she actually responded. And then I said, hey, thanks for responding. Would you like to maybe?" I was thinking maybe would you like to talk on my YouTube channel or something? So, and she said, and she came back, and I thought she's not going to say anything. She's not going to talk my YouTube channel. And then she said, "Yeah, I'd love to do that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's when I said, "Okay." And then we started talking. We talked once before that, before we went live on my channel, just to discuss what beforehand what we were going to go through, because I want to make sure that she was comfortable with what we were going to discuss. There was nothing, nothing that was out of bounds or anything like that. Just to make sure it was in line with what she wanted to talk about. And we talked, and then we did the first show, and if several people pointed out that I was, well, not several people, but at least a couple of people in the chat pointed out that I had like, someone referred to, I had a fake laugh. I didn't mean to have a fake laugh when I did that. I was just a little nervous and giddy because I hadn't done anything an interview like that for like a long time. I had done interviews many years ago, but that was in radio, not on the internet. And I hadn't done it in such a while that I was a little giddy when I was doing that. And then from there, we just, she seemed all excited. She said, I said, "Would you like to do it again?" And she said, "Yeah, I'll do it again." And I said, "We can keep on doing this." And then we started talking. And then that's why I said, "I'd like to help you out." And I guess at that point I should have probably, that's when I started to feel had the feelings that I had for her. And at first I was like, this is an infatuation, because I started thinking about things that only people that have infatuations think about. It was clearly an infatuation, but I said, "Okay, I don't really have feelings for her. It's just an infatuation." But unfortunately, it just got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I just, all of a sudden I was like, I couldn't stop thinking about her, and I was thinking about her all the time. And I think she caught on to the fact she was basically, she questioned the fact why I was trying to help her all the time. And it was very obvious for me why I was trying to help her. I was trying to do anything to help her out to try to move. And I said, look, we can use my channel to help promote you. We can upload your videos. We can do more things, more than just the talk show that we're doing. And she questioned, after a while, she started questioning why I was doing this. And she never caught on to the fact that I liked her. It doesn't really matter at this point. I think that based on a conversation we had recently, I think at first she was her heart and soul was into doing this more and more, but more recently, I think she's kind of faded out from wanting to do it. We were supposed to do a show together last night, and she dropped out at the last minute, which is fine. I'm not sure. Well, maybe we'll do a show next week. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm thinking about maybe trying to close everything up. If you see her on there, if you see a show on there next week, this is Eastern time, so usually we try to start it between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. It's not a specific set time. On Monday evenings, that's Eastern Standard Time. So if you see us again next week, you know that I didn't break anything off, or she didn't break it off either. So, I anybody that's on, I mean, this is kind of hard for me to do, and I don't like talking my life over the internet like this, even though I'm doing it anyway. I just need somewhere to vent on this one. Just to get my emotions out, because it's been holding it in for a long time, and I didn't know where else to go for this one. The what I'd like to try to do is, if this doesn't work out, is try to maybe get someone else who would like to do a weekly or some sort of weekly show together, just for fun. So if anybody wants to do some sort of weekly show together and you think you can talk, what I mean by that, you can carry on a conversation. There's an email in the description below. Just send me an email and we can move forward with trying to do something. But I would like to try to continue doing something in the future. I have contacted, believe it or not, I probably contacted about a dozen other people to do like maybe just a basic interview on my channel. I think maybe half, not even that. Like I got like 2, 3, maybe 3 responses at the most, and not even half. One person got back to me, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do it." And then I told him what I was doing, and I told him he had actually worked with the person I'm talking about, the woman. And after that, I never heard back from him. So I don't know. He was all gung ho, and he never got back to me. So I just figured he just wasn't interested. Then of course there was the woman, Ashley Burton, who I already interviewed. And so I've contacted like quite a few people, and I guess they probably are, they don't know who I am. They don't know if I'm someone to take seriously, since they're just getting it might look like a suspicious email. So who knows? They may just delete it. Who knows? But I did try to contact several people who were doing things like movie reaction videos, different type of talk videos on YouTube, and say, hey, would you like to talk together on the internet just for fun? And most of them, like I said, just didn't get back to me. So we'll see where that goes. But anyway, I'm going to put this link in here one more time. Well, the link is in the description. So I mean, if you scroll up, you'll see it. It's the link to the banner I made for this person. It was I was actually going to put it on my channel to try to help promote her. And I was going to keep my channel name, but just the banner would have her name on it to reflect the fact that we're to try to help promote her. Basically, the idea was we have a channel that's pretty popular, a lot of views, with a banner that shows her, and try to sell that as a thing. And believe me, I broke so many of my own rules by doing this, things that I thought I'd never do. I did things on this channel that I've never done before because of this whole situation. Talking on my videos, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 videos where I just did some commentary, like pre-recorded commentary that was very heavily pre-recorded, meaning I've scripted it all out. Um, I've never done this spontaneous stuff before, and that's like something I never really wanted to do. So I broke one of my rules there. By bringing videos of her on, I violated the rules of trademark, of copyright, because some of the videos in there we showed copyrighted material, and it ended up getting not a copyright strike, but just basically a copyright notice. And that's something I've been able to avoid for a long time. I've gotten rid of all the copyright claims on my videos over the years, and now I have like 3 or 4 copyright claims on them, which is like something I would never do. Um, and all this because I was not thinking with my head, I was just thinking with my heart. The I mean, it's amazing how many things I violated, how many rules I violated with this. Um, the and like I said, I've I hope that I really hope that everything works out for her. But the last time we had a talk, that definitely seemed like she was ready to, like, basically bring everything to an end anyway. Um, I would definitely encourage everyone though to watch her video and watch her videos to see what kind of a talent she is. Really talented. She was also in a TV show. She had a small role in a TV show, and uh that show she was only in like 6 episodes. I actually I'd never watched the show before, and the show, you can find links to that. You can actually find links to that on the front of my channel now because of how I've been promoting her. Um, the uh, in that show, she played like a very small role. She was only in, like I said, 6 episodes. She was in what is often referred to as the B plot of a story. So she was in the first episode she was in the B plot. She wasn't in the A plot. And she didn't have very much. She talked a little, but not very much. It was mainly it looked like they mainly brought her on for her dancing. And the 5 episodes that followed after that, she hardly spoke at all. And I would hardly even consider most of the things she was brought in for was just like for momentary um like comic aspects, like to bring in some comedy to the thing. She would come in and do some dance routines and entertain people. Um, she may have been, I can't remember offhand. She may have been part of the B. Yeah, she was part of the B plot in one of the final episodes she was in. Uh, but it wasn't very. She didn't have very many lines. Um, but I would highly encourage anybody to check her out. For now, I'm keeping her stuff on my front channel, so you can always check on her videos. Like I said, the if you go to my homepage, you'll see the second row it says her name experience, and um, if you scroll down through the videos, you'll see a whole bunch of videos that she made, including I thought, I guess they're not there. Hold on a second. I'm trying to bring it up right now. I thought she had no. I thought oh, she does. Oh, if you actually go there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you go to the list of videos that are there, there are 6 the sixth one in number 6. Um, you'll see that the video, it shows she took all the scenes from the TV show she was in and kind of mashed them all together, and you can see the performance she did on that show. Otherwise, aside from that, she has not had like and she's had a good career otherwise, but she hasn't had like a major presence in, like, say, television or movies since that time. So my goal was to try to help her get more, because I had a popular channel. I'd say relatively popular channel. I mean, I think I'm still getting like over 200 subscribers a day and like 100 and something million views per day. So, it's up there. I thought, well, hey, I can use this to try to help promote her, get her back up there and maybe get her some attention. And, the idea was good and sound, but I just, like I said, I allowed my heart to dictate what I was doing instead of thinking with my head. I really do hope that everything works out for her. Like I said, not everything's not over, but at the same time, um, I'm not sure, if I don't really think it's going to go much further than it is right now. And I do hope to try to continue trying to bring different people on and just having general discussions. Also, I wouldn't mind having discussions with people about video games in general, or maybe Grand Theft Auto. If anyone would like to come on sometime and talk about maybe San Andreas, that'd be fun. You can always check my email, send me an email, and we can go. We can maybe do some talking about that. Even um, do some online. I don't know if we could do online stuff, but I was able to make some videos where I was playing the game while she was watching, and we could maybe do some stuff like that. I wouldn't mind doing some online chats with people that do that. Um, the and like I said, you just contact me through the email that I have. You can go to my main channel in the about section. Let me see if that's correct. Yeah, that about section is highly outdated. Um, the description, I haven't updated that in over 7 years at least. The but if you go down to the email itself is actually is current. So that it's zmoonchildyt at traffic.im. Traffic.im is just a domain that I have, so I'm able to create several emails with it, and it's easy to use. I forget what I think it's the Island of Man is the extension, but I'm in the United States, so it's not a foreign domain per se. It is technically, but it's used in the United States. Um, and if you look at the description on there, I still have on there. I apologize to everyone about this, but due to Google Plus, I have disabled all of my comments. Yeah, I haven't updated this in a long time. So Google Plus, I think finally phased out of the public about maybe 3 years ago. I'll say 3 years ago. It still exists, but not for personal use, only for like corporate, like company use. Like if you have a company, you can use it, but you're not allowed to use it. I don't know all the details, so I could be wrong in some of this, but if you can't use it on a personal level anymore. I don't know if how many people know this, but when Google Plus came out, they forced everyone in 2013 to have a Google Plus account. The thing was, you didn't have to sign up for it. So I never signed up for my Google Plus. I never signed up for it. So my three big channels never had Google Plus, and a lot of people are wondering why I would leave a comment and no one could respond to my comments. And the reason for that was at the time, since I didn't have Google Plus, I was able to leave a comment on my own video. I just couldn't respond to anybody. So, but I could leave comments on my videos, and people are like, "How come we can't respond to you? How is it?" And it's because I didn't have Google Plus in my account. So what I did in the meantime was I created another channel that was called Z Moonchild Live, and that channel, I created that with the sole intent of using that as a way that one did have a Google Plus account, and I used that with the sole intent of using that to respond to everybody on my channels without having to make my other channels connect to Google Plus. So if anyone's ever wondering why when respond to people on my YouTube channels, I always respond with my Z Moonchild Live account. The live is because I didn't originally didn't want to respond with I didn't want to connect my original channels to Google Plus. So this was like a minor sacrifice. I ended up signing up for it anyway for a single channel, but I didn't have to, but I kept my other channels from having to connect to it. So out of my four big channels, three of them have never been connected to Google Plus. The live one was, but it's not anymore because they've discontinued it anyway. But anyway, even though they discontinued Google Plus, I still respond with that same account all the time. I've never stopped doing that. So because of Google Plus, I still respond with that same account to all my channels. And also, if you're wondering why it's called Live, it's when I originally created the account, I didn't know what to call it. I didn't want to call it the exact same thing, so I called it. I had a email account that was called zmoonchild@live.com. So I just said, okay, that sounds kind of cool. So I just called it zmoonchild live. It had nothing to do with going live at all or anything like that. And because if I go live, I always thought I'd use my main channel, which is what I'm doing right now. live just simply meant I was using a live email account. And so eventually I switched it over so it doesn't have that anymore. But I still have that live account. So if someone wants to send something there, I can actually still get it. I don't use it for anything like accounts or anything because it's a Hotmail account. So basically, that's not a good thing to have one of those. I've had actually got hacked into about 8 years ago, and it took me a while to get it back. So um, anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed what I was talking about, and thank you for allowing me to get a lot of that off of my chest. If you have any suggestions or anything, please feel free to leave a comment in the suggestion below. Um, and like I said, I think I'm going to move forward with possibly playing Grand Theft Auto 3 in the next week or so. I'm still wrapping up the Vice City videos. Like I said, I've completely finished the story to 100%. So there's no more story missions to make. But right now I'm making like special vehicles, like how to collect like bulletproof vehicles and things like that in rare colors. The videos I'm making, I'm actually using another guy's channel. His name is Champion, and I list his channel in the description. So I like to give him full credit. He did an excellent job. If you go to his channel, it's called Champion. Um, he made a lot of videos on how to collect these special videos, and he doesn't get enough credit. He's really good at what he does. Um, and he also made a list on GTA forums. That's how I originally found out about him. He made a list of all the special vehicles that you can obtain on in Vice City. And when I went to his channel, I was heavily impressed. And he really needs more. He really does need more support. He hardly has anybody, hardly any subscribers. I forget how many he has, but he deserves a lot more. And like I said, I always try to make sure I give proper credit to people who create this stuff. And he's a very talented, very good Vice City player. Anyway, his name is Champion. I'm going to try to see if I can bring his channel up here. Give me 1 second so I can put a link in the chat real quick. Give me a second. Whoops. Oh, shoot. Hold on. It's not coming up here. Give me a second. Unfortunately, the name Champion is kind of popular, so it doesn't show up. Hold on a second. Maybe I should do a channel search. I didn't think of that. Channel search. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have the name Champion here. Yeah, a lot of people here. Hold on. Let me see. Um, give me a second here. Yeah, there's way too many people have the name Champion in their names here. I can't bring it up. Give me 1 second here. I'll try to find it. I definitely want people to check his videos out. He's very good. He has one video in particular I tried several times to emulate. I could not do it. It's how to get the I think it was the bulletproof PCJ 600 out of one of the missions, and you have to time it just perfectly with a tank. I tried several times. I finally just gave up after a while. He did it so well, though. Hold on a second. There we go. There we go. I finally found it. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat right now. Yeah. You got it. Yeah. Yeah, CL3 said it right there. Yes, you exactly. Search for EMP 2008. Yeah. And here's the link right there. Who's the other person is Lethal Vaccine. Okay, he does. Okay, he says GTA new cars. I'd never heard of Lethal Vaccine. I'll have to check. I'll have to check that one out as well. But yeah, like anytime I do these videos, I'm not, especially with these special unique videos like bulletproof videos. I'm not usually. I think like one or two of these I may have come up on my own, like the Black Maverick from the movie from the video from the mission interdiction. Me and another guy worked together to create a plan on how to get the Black Maverick. So I helped create that. I was the one that figured out how that you could shoot it down without destroying it, and he figured out that you could hook a tow truck up it and tow it away during the mission. I didn't know that at the time, and so it was a collaborative effort of sorts. So, but the vast majority of the videos I make where you have unique vehicles are actually made by other people, and I always try to put the credit in there. I just like to. It's fun to try to collect them, so I make videos myself. The last time I played Vice City was 2015. I didn't make any videos at the time, but when I played through, I collected as many unique vehicles as I could. So all the saved games I have them collected in the garages. This time when I did the videos, though, I left them out, and now I'm doing them afterwards. So if you're watching my videos right now, you'll see that I have like last week I did nothing but unique vehicles, and this week I'm doing the same thing. I have like 5 more unique vehicles. Oh, we said you remember. It says okay. CL3 says you remember me crediting lethal vaccine in one of my lost and damned video descriptions. Um, then they okay. Oh, okay, the Regina video. Okay, then it's a very then maybe I have heard of him. Okay, either the name didn't pop up when you said that, so I didn't know. So okay, thanks for reminding me. Like I said, I don't like to like. There's some people out there that like take other people's uh credit, take other credit for other things, and I don't like to do that. It kind of pisses me off. I've seen people take things that I created and they'll like make a video and they'll like make like 5 different cool tricks, and it's like and they'll put them all together. It's like I created like maybe 3 of those 5 things. It's like, hey, I created those. And it's like I can tell that they got it from me, but I'm not going to say anything. But it's kind of funny that they didn't give me any credit for it. But it's very obvious that I'm the one that created it because it's the way I play the game kind of uniquely compared to other people in some ways. And it's like I could tell there was something I created. And like I said, I don't, it doesn't really matter, but it'd be nice if they did give me some credit. So, um, anyway, like I said, next week, I'm probably going to try, I'll see if I can do some more Vice City videos. Like I said, I'm already finished with the story missions. So maybe I'll try, if I'll try to find some more of the unique videos. Unfortunately, some of them require cheats, so I'm not going to do any of those. And just the ones that are don't require any mods or cheats to obtain. Um, and even if it includes failing the mission, which is okay, because that still doesn't involve modding or cheating in the game. So, but the starting next week, um, the starting next week, I may start doing Grand Theft Auto 3 videos. And like I said, I haven't done Grand Theft Auto 3 since 2006. So I'll be like a newbie on that. I have not played that game at all. Um, I mean, I think I installed it on my computer like a year or two ago, and I brought it up just to test it to make sure it was working okay, but that doesn't really count for playing. And it's the it's going to be it's going to look really weird. People are asking me how to play the game. I don't know any tricks or anything about that game. So unlike San Andreas and Vice City, which I played Vice City now 3 times all the way through. San Andreas I played much more times, and Grand Theft Auto 4 I played that uh 2 or 3. I think the time on this game I played it 3 times. Oh, in case you're wondering, some people ask me why I never finished the Grand Theft Auto 4 videos. The reason for that, my game glitched really badly, and at the end of the game, I still may go back and I still have a handful of missions to do, like the last few story missions, but the game glitched, and I never got the call from Stevie about stealing the 30 cars, and it turns out that several other people experienced this glitch as well. What happened was, as I was playing the game, I had the phone turned off. And the same thing happened to the other people. They left their phone turned off. And because of that, they never got the call from Stevie. And if you turn it back on, you'd still never get the phone call. So I'll never be able to finish those 30 cars because of that. So unfortunately, on those missions, like I said, I may go back to finish the story missions, but I'm not going to be able to get 100% on those videos. And it was pissing me off. So I stopped playing them so I could figure out what the problem was. And I went online and someone suggested that trying to go around to find all 30 cars manually, because sometimes what happens is even though you don't get the call, sometimes the car will show up. And I drove around. I drove to all 30 locations this past. In fact, I did it this past weekend. I drove around to all 30 locations twice. I drove there, and I drove back, drove away, and then drove back again, and I could not find any of those cars. So my game is glitched. So there's no way I can do 100% on those videos. I'll have to pull out like an old saved game from years ago and maybe do that to show those. But unfortunately, I will go back to doing the I will go back to finishing the story missions eventually. Unfortunately, there's another glitch in the game. Both my computers have high process. I think my Windows 7 computer has 4 processors. I can't remember what the CPU is. But because it has 4 processors, it glitches the final mission. So I have to record it by turning off one of the 4 processors. Otherwise, you can't finish the mission. There's a scene where Nico has to climb into the helicopter, and I tried it and I couldn't finish it. It's because there's something to do with the fact that there's too many processors going on at the same time. It prevents him from being able to climb inside the helicopter, so you can't finish the mission. So I have to figure out how to fix that. Unfortunately, I turned off all but one of the processors, and the video quality dropped immensely, really bad. So I have to figure out how to record that and be able to have the quality not drop so badly. Um, it was kind of frustrating too. A lot of people on the internet had that problem. The funny part is when the game first came out, I remember hearing about the problem, but I had to play the game on Windows XP. Now that computer is dead. It's been dead for a while. So, but I remember I didn't have that problem initially. I was always wondering what's the problem. It's so easy to pass the mission, and now I experienced the problem. I say, oh, now I know what you're going through. It was bad. It's a bad glitch. So, eventually I'll try to finish those story missions. Um, so I may do some of those very soon. The what else was there? I can't think of any. There are some rare vehicles in Grand Theft Auto 4, but mostly when I made those videos, I got the ones I liked as the story progressed. It's kind of hard to store some of those vehicles as well because they keep on disappearing because you have to park them in the street, which kind of stinks. The garage isn't there to protect them. Um, yeah, the comment from Enos, was it no cap, no filter, no cap, no filter. A Thanks for the comment there. Yeah, this whole love thing. Like I said, love is kind of a strong term in this, but it's definitely in that direction. I know I said love myself, but I would say it's more like a heavy infatuation, and I just let myself. I should have stopped it when I did. I didn't. I just let it keep on going. So, um, the I and I appreciate all the people that are leaving comments and watching this video and letting me, state what I had to say, without, doing anything. I will, I don't know where things are going to go with the videos I've been making with her because, but like I said, I think things are kind of wrapping up at this point. I'm not sure. We'll see. Um, but the last time I talked to her, things were seeming kind of downward. Um, and, um, she might have just been in a bad, things might have been maybe she wasn't in a good mood or something that day. But like I said, we were supposed to do one yesterday, and she bailed out at the last minute. It wasn't a big deal. We'll see what happens next week. And like I said, don't be surprised if I start reverting the channel back to the way it looked before. The only thing that changed, I stated that I started to change the channel. I never changed the banner. The only things I changed were on the homepage. I tried a lot to promote her um, in her videos. So like the first 3 rows are all devoted to her. The trailer video, if you can call it, I forget, that's what YouTube calls it, the trailer video. The next row is all her videos. And then below that you have her 2 YouTube channels. She has 2 YouTube channels. I originally thought she had 3 for some reason, and I finally I realized I also only had 2. But, like I said, I highly encourage you, ignore, what I said about, how I feel. I mean, well, don't ignore what I said. Just, I mean, it just don't let it influence like you wanting to go see her. I would still heavily encourage you to go see her videos, and she really is talented, and I hope that her career does become more immense. She really does deserve more than what she's gotten. So, as far as what she does, she's anybody that's watched her would say the same thing. Um, anyway, I I will I need to find. Still trying to find the disc for Grand Theft Auto 3, so hopefully I'll find that by next week. Anybody that has any suggestions, I'd like to keep make it a new Grand Theft Auto series. I know some people keep on asking me if I should do Grand Theft Auto 5. I never completed Grand Theft Auto 5. I think about 34% of the way through, and I stopped playing. And the story missions, that is, I never played online at all. And I stopped playing because the game itself just got a little too boring, not to be rude or anything, but it just wasn't really, it just felt like I was just playing and just going through the motions. It wasn't as challenging as I was hoping it'd be. So if anyone's wondering, well, about Grand Theft Auto 5, I was thinking about maybe doing a starter save for that one. I did create a starter save for it when I first started playing back in 2015, and I completed it, and I actually did everything that was possible to be completed on the PC version. Apparently, though, on the PlayStation 3 version, you can do a little bit more. So there's a guy that created a starter save video of Grand Theft Auto 5 of the PlayStation 3. It was just one single video, and he showed all the things he had done. Um, I forget what the link is. Hopefully it's still on there. It's been a few years since I looked at it, but he said he did everything that I did, and he also was able to purchase the garage that was near, what is that? I forget what that area is called. It's like the old Grove Street garage. I can't remember what it's called because I'm not familiar enough with the locations in that game. But he was apparently in the PlayStation 3 version, you can purchase the garage early in the game, whereas in the PC version you cannot. And so that would be nice, very beneficial in the sense that I would be able to buy, or maybe not buy, but at least collect rare cars at the very beginning, because I found a whole bunch of rare cars when I made that starter save, and I was pissed off that I can only save one of them. I found one, I forget what it's called, but it looks like an old Corvette from the early 60s, like an old Stingray, or like a 1963 Stingray. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And I couldn't save it because I only had one garage, and it never appeared again. So, oh, okay. So, CL3 says, the Grand Theft Auto 5 starter save on PS3. That's lethal vaccine. Okay. 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 Yeah, yeah, check out his video then. Like he did a very nice, it's just a single video that I saw at the time. Maybe he's done more, but it was one video and it just went through the stats, and it showed all the things that he could do, all the things he had done. And I think someone asked him if he was going to make a series or something. I think he said no, but who knows? Maybe things have changed since that time. But it was pretty cool. It's nice to have someone else to get reference on. When I created the starter save myself, I didn't use anyone else for reference. I did it all myself, and it took a while, like just looking through the internet and figuring out what all needed to be completed. I was able to get in the PC version, the one I got, there's a lot of little pictures that need to be taken. I can't, and there's also, you could collect like a special outfit early on as well. I can't remember what it was. Um, but basically you're only playing as Franklin, and you could buy different clothes. I think, um, and the thing is about the island is that there's no locked areas of the game, and that kind of makes the game less challenging because you're just driving around doing various things. The only challenging part of the game was like some of the stunt jumps were kind of challenging because some of them went into locked areas of the game. Like you had to do a stunt jump into the prison. I think it was the prison, and that was fun because I was able to get out of there without getting killed. Now that created a challenge, but then it just after that it just got like it was just okay. This is just there's no challenge to this, and it just got boring. And so I completed the starter save and I started doing the story missions. And like I said, I got about 34% through, and I just said, okay, and I just kind of stopped. And I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it just wasn't challenging enough. I needed something that was more challenging. It just seemed like it was just mainly like more becoming more like an interactive movie than a video game in some ways. It seemed like they're more focused on telling a story than actually making the game more challenging. So I got a comment from what was that RR2Y? Hi, back. Um, yeah, in CL3 talks about the Grand Theft Auto 4's starter save. Yeah, that's challenging, and I gotta say, I gotta say that doing that is one of the funnest things. The funnest thing about doing the Grand Theft Auto 4 one is the fact that uh, there's a technique, there's a strategy to surviving at 6-star wanted levels for long periods of time. And a lot of people don't know that. And the game, when you go into the locked areas of the game, as long as you're in an alley, the cops have a hard time finding you. If you get into a car and the cops didn't see you getting into the car, then they don't know that you're in the car until you get very close to them. So you can drive for great distances without being seen, which is really beneficial. Um, and so like you, and that's when I was doing the Grand Theft Auto 4 starter save. I'm constantly when the cops couldn't see me, I was constantly getting out of the car and looking for another one to get into. That way they wouldn't see me. And people are always asking, why are you getting into a new car? It's like, well, because the cops don't know that I'm getting into the new car. And it made it much more easier to get around for a little bit until they got close enough. Then they would see me and then they would start chasing me again. But and it was very funny. The other thing I did differently, that was the second time I did that on my channel. I did change it, and I think some people got a little discouraged by this, and I didn't mean to do this. The first time I did it, I made it so I had to lose the 6-star wanted level every time. And the newer version, I did not. I was a little, I was just getting a little. I just made it so I had to survive. So I didn't get rid of the 6-star wanted level in the newer version. So I know some people were disappointed that I didn't do that, and I was too. But I decided I just want to do it a little different this time. So um, if I do another starter save for that, it'll probably go on one of my other channels instead, just for fun. But I actually enjoy doing that one a lot, primarily because the strategy involved to survive in those areas is really fun. It seems like it's impossible to do, but it's once you get it down, you realize it's not impossible. It can be tricky, but it's not impossible to survive with a 6-star wanted level, and they're chasing after you. It's just so fun to do. Um, and you can actually do it, like in my videos, you can see I do it. You can do it for a long period of time, and there's other techniques to get out of there. The first time I played, I developed these plans on how to get out of there, and one of the things I discovered was the train lines. I was like surprised that you can just drive through the train lines and get in out real easily, and that was one way to get in. And then I discovered I forget which bridge that was, where there's a pedestrian walkway, and you could use the pedestrian part underneath to drive. It was like there were no barriers there. I was like, well, that's easy. Well, that makes it real easy. Um, from the first island to Algonquin, and I was and then I realized like the second island there's the tunnel to get to the third island. That is, there's the tunnel, and then there's the bridge at the top, the northern part of the map, and there's like a little bit space where you can squeeze by, and it's like, oh wow, you can actually get by that. And that was like, once I realized that, it's like, oh, that makes getting to the third island back and forth much easier. The only problem is you usually have to fight the SWAT, or the noose, I guess. And that can be a tricky part. And then I made it a challenge to purposely go through the tunnel a few times, which was incredibly challenging because you can't really hide that easily in the tunnel, and it's hard to use a car. So and then the barriers are there, so you can't drive it straight through. So purposely tried to make some of those videos more challenging than they needed to be. So um I may eventually try to do a Grand Theft Auto 5 starter save. I know some people ask me, but um like I said, it's it gets kind of boring in some ways. So um I have to go through my list again of as to what I still have the original save file, so all I have to do is go back on the stats to see what needs to be done. But I may I may do that eventually. It's just right now I'm not sure if I want to I'll commit to that one right now. And if I do the Grand Theft Auto 3 videos, I'm not sure if I want to do a starter save because since I haven't played the game in 14 years, I don't even know where to start on how to get across. I've seen a couple videos on how people have gotten across the bridges. Um, it's um, it's not, it doesn't look that hard, but it's just, I'm not, I'd have to learn from scratch. It's going to be, so I'm not sure how I'm going to, if I do Grand Theft Auto 3, how I'm going to do that. If I'm just going to play it through normally, or if I'm going to do like a starter save. Um, the I don't even know what the complete percentage is of what you can do on that one. Like when I did this Vice City one recently, I'd actually done that. I'd played the game once back in 2006, then again in 2015. So when I made the videos more recently, I knew what needed to be done, because I'd done it more. I'd done the starter save once before without making any videos. So when I made the videos this time, I was like, oh, okay, well, all I have to do is this. And I already knew in my head what needed to be done. But with Grand Theft Auto 3, that's almost like a foreign nation, a foreign country to me at this point. Um, it's so I'm so unfamiliar with it. The Also the in the Vice City, there's, I don't know if you go on GTA forums, there's a guy, he goes by the name of Dell in parentheses, Dell, parenthesis, close parenthesis. He made his own starter save, not video, but saved game that people could download. And if you go on GTA forums, they've kind of buried it now. It used to be at the top as a pinned comment in the Vice City section. And I went through there, and it turns out that he used some sort of a mod or something, or some sort of trainer. Be wary if you go on there. I left a post on it that actually shows that um, he did not do the game legitimately. So all the stats did not match up. I made like a page long description showing where it's very obvious that he had used mods, and the stats were not matching. So if you go on GTA forums and you see this, it says Ultimate Game Start for Vice City, and the name is Dell, DEL in parentheses. That's the name of the person who did it. We know that that's actually modded, and I was able to prove that it was modded just by looking at the save game file. They still have it listed there, but they've kind of buried it, so it's not listed at the top anymore. Um, so, I was thinking about posting a link on there to post my starter save, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, at this point, it's kind of old. I have a starter save listed in my for my San Andreas ones on GTA forums, but that's also kind of old, so it doesn't really matter anymore. Um, if I post something, people are gonna go, yeah, well, people have done that so many times nowadays, it's not really a big deal. So I probably won't post one. And so there are so many topics on there. When I finished the Vice City starter save videos, I did not collect all of the vehicles that could have been collected. There's also, and I didn't know this at the time, you can also collect some of the racing vehicles out of the stadium. There are videos that show how to collect them, which are pretty interesting. You have to drive the vehicle through the wall, and eventually the vehicles will you'll be able to come out of the stadium, and you can save the vehicle. You have to I think you have to destroy it, and then you can then you actually you have to destroy it while it's in your garage, and you can actually save the vehicles that are used in the race, which is kind of cool. So I did not collect those. I could have collected those, but I did not. And like I said, when I made my videos at the time, I did not know that it was possible to collect those vehicles. I'm not sure. There's a topic on GTA forums. I was reading it within the past couple of months, and people were going through all the things that you could do, all the vehicles you could collect. The And I was surprised. I was like surprised. I was like, oh wow, I didn't really do as much as I could have. So I did a lot, but I didn't do everything. So like there are a couple more special vehicles you can collect. So mine is pretty good. In the sense that I got a lot of the I got a couple of rare vehicles. I got what's his name, the lawyer, his admiral, his silver admiral. I got that at the beginning, which is not that big of a deal. But I also got the black rancher and the black Sanchez. So I got that, and I was also able to collect the tank and park it and store it. That's not a big deal either at all, because that's collecting packages. But I could have collected a few more vehicles for that, and I did not. So to be honest, I don't know where I'd be able to store them though. Unfortunately, the garage, what is that? I forget what that one is. The big one at the north end of the map near the stadium. Um, some of those vehicles kept on disappearing on me, and it got frustrating after a while. I get a vehicle and then I go back and then like I put another one in there and the one of the ones I collected disappeared. So I had to go collect it again, which is really annoying. So even if I collected all those vehicles, I probably wouldn't have been able to save them all anyway because the garages just aren't reliable in that game. At least that one wasn't. It was very annoying. And trying to I'd have to try to find a way to get the vehicles across the bridges, which are blocked, and store them in other garages, I guess. So I'm not. Vice City is I know Vice City pretty well, but not well enough of some of the other people. Those other people know it inside and out. And I being when I go after those vehicles, I go on what they say because I've not there's nothing in Vice City I've ever done that's pretty unique. I think I've used pretty much everyone else's techniques when just basically providing links to the as far as like the vehicles in there. Like Champion's video, I used him to collect those dark vehicles. Okay, so CL3 says, was it Hyman? Hyman Kondo? Okay, yeah. Yeah, you have to walk into the save icon a specific way so the cars in the garages won't disappear. Okay, so I didn't know that. Okay, and that was very frustrating. It happened a few times. It was just so annoying. I tried to go in there, um, and it's just I was like, I go back and it's like, okay, my vehicles are gone, especially with the tank. It's anytime I put a vehicle in with the tank, any vehicle would disappear with that one. So, and like I said, I didn't need to get the tank, but I thought it was kind of cool to have one inside of the garage instead of having to go into the military base. So, um, okay. So basically, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap everything up. I appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to me cry, whimper about my whole, if you call it love situation. Um, and um, the what I'll do is we'll see where things go. Like I said, I'm not mentioning her name in this video, but all you have to do is go to my primary. All you have to do is go to the front page of my channel, the homepage, and you'll see her name everywhere. Um, at this point, I don't intend on trying to evolve any more my channel than it is right now. It'll just basically stay the same. Um, the the I wouldn't be surprised if very soon I change everything back on the videos that are there, so like it'll look like it did before. And also, the reason I'm doing this video tonight is because we didn't do a show last night. I was prepared to do it, and she bailed out at the last minute. She didn't say why, but it wasn't a big deal. But I thought, well, since I didn't do one last night, I guess I'll try something tonight and see where things go. But anyway, if anyone has any suggestions on upcoming videos. I know I said I might do Grand Theft Auto 3 or anything you wanted me to do with those. Let me know. Put it in the description of this video, and I'll take a look at it, and then we can go from there. All right, and thanks, and thanks for everyone, and have a good evening, or wherever you are. Good.